We are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It has been unfortunately reported that Cardi B's digital media manager and lapdog, Ken Ugly Barbie, allegedly has a whole group chat dedicated to pushing hate tweets about Ckiminaj. Unfortunately, there has been screen recordings of Ken Barbie allegedly being in a group chat saying push certain tweets talking about Nicki Minaj's family, discussing Nicki Minaj in a negative light. And he openly admitted recently that he works for Titanic Records and he is Cardi B's social media manager. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, here's my thing. None of this is shocking information. Ken Botch Barbie was the one that Nicki Minaj was going back and forth with last year in September. Everybody knows that Ken Barbie works for Cardi B. He was, when she was doing, those meet and greets and even on certain tour dates, he was around. I think that in regards to this particular issue, if Nicki Minaj can, which I doubt that she will, she might have a lawsuit that she can file. I don't think she'll file one because Nicki never does. Okay, she only filed one against that annoying as blogger that faded away after Nicki Minaj won that lawsuit against, what was the blogger name? Brokey Hoax Live or something of that sort. Yeah, where is she now? Nowhere. So the point of the matter is, if Nicki Minaj wants the harassment to stop, she's going to have to file lawsuits, okay? The tweeting, the, mentioning certain people's names and talking about how the industry is against you, that's not going to get you nowhere. It's going to continue to happen. Even, this current administration, they're not going to be able to fully stop the harassment. If Nicki Minaj wants Titanic Records and these other executives in the industry to stop harassing her, she needs to take them to court and take them for everything that they're worth. Now, speaking of 33 faces, Cardi B just filed a new lawsuit against Tasha K and her husband. Cardi's lawyer sent the judge receipts of Tasha selling her husband's house for $0, illegal under the bankruptcy order, and rerouting all of her money from YouTube to a new LLC her husband created to hide money from Cardi and inflate her expenses. And her husband admitted under oath that he was trying to help Tasha hide assets. Now, the newest lawsuit came about because Tasha K was ordered to make a $18,000 monthly payment to Cardi B and agreed to not talk about Cardi. This kept Cardi from immediately coming after her house and seizing all of her assets. But Tasha violated the non-disparagement like 20 times. On top of that, her financial records show she and her husband clearly moving shit around to mislead the court and hide money. Not only could this voided her bankruptcy agreement and make her pay the full $4 million, but allegedly, Cardi B has a case to send Tasha K to jail. Now, let me know how y'all feel about that. In my opinion, I think Cardi B is being a little bit dramatic. First of all, you'll never seen that $4 million. I don't think, no shade, Tasha K got $4 million. So that's one. Number two, I think Cardi B, the reason why she going so hard on Tasha K is because Tasha K has been in communications with Nicki Minaj. That's the only reason why. Yep. Y'all can't fool me. That's exactly the reason why. Because Tasha K has been in heavy communication with Nicki Minaj on and off. They're not friends, but Nicki Minaj has acknowledged her publicly, has given her money, and that's why Cardi B is trying to go after Tasha K. She do not care about this lawsuit. She is just trying to make sure Tasha K suffers the repercussions for her actions for basically having somewhat of a relationship with Nicki Minaj. And Cardi B wants to be the only person to have friends that are bloggers in the industry. That's exactly what it is. Now, unfortunately, Scratch Off gets sabotaged again. Tyler and Feature have announced their new collaboration coming out May 29th called Game Time for the FIFA World Cup. Wow, wow, wow. Not only that, she got to compete with Ariana, too. Ariana is dropping as well. So let me know how y'all feel about it. I'm like, damn, Scratch Off can't catch a break. Hopefully, this doesn't overshadow her album. I don't think it will, but hopefully it doesn't. And then on top of that, JT announced her debut solo album called Club Cheetah. And I'm thinking, ain't that Scratch Off's signature cheetah print? That is technically Scratch Off's aesthetic. Now, people have mentioned that JT has done the cheetah aesthetic before. That, obviously it doesn't just belong to Scratch Off. And it's not like she can trademark cheetah print. She just can't, because it's been around, way before there was a Scratch Off. But, that is part of her aesthetic. I feel as though Scratch Off probably gonna feel some type of way about JT announcing the Club Cheetah album. Not only that, Scratch Off announced that she got a collaboration on her album with Jelly Roll, and a lot of fans were not too happy about it. A fan said, well, I know my Skip song, My Girl, Take Him Off. Another fan said Jelly Roll for the retirement album, okay. And then another fan said, we losing the plot, sister. So a lot of people are not too happy with the Jelly Roll collaboration. She probably couldn't afford Morgan Wallen. That's probably who she really wanted. And she probably had to settle for Jelly Roll. My whole thing is, why didn't you call up Shabuzi? Maybe it was because he was thirsting after her. I believe that was like a year and a half ago. He was lusting after her. So maybe that's why she didn't, ask him to hop on a song. But that would have made more sense than Jelly Roll. I mean, I think this might be a skip for me too. No shade, Scratch Off. But a lot of the collaborations on the album, I wouldn't say don't make sense, but it seems like she is trying to grasp at any type of collaboration to get ahead. Doing a collaboration with Wizkid, obviously, she wants to, get the Afrobeats audience on her side. She should have called up Tyler. That would have made more sense. Not saying that Tyler's Afrobeats, but I think that would have made a better collaboration, idea than Jelly Roll and Wizkid. Even the Tiana Taylor collaboration really don't make sense because Tiana Taylor not really popping musically, so nobody's going to stream that. But let me know how y'all feel about it and if you guys will be listening to Scratch Off's album. I don't feel like she made the right decision by having Jelly Roll on her album. Now, moving on to Nicki Minaj, Justin Bieber and Nicki's Beauty and the Beat returns to #1 on the global Paolify chart with 5.4 million streams. It has now spent 30 days at #1. So let me know how y'all feel about that. I think it would be a perfect time for Nicki Minaj to release a single. Despite fans' opinions, she is actually working on music. She just needs to find a way to release it, okay? Call up Republic, okay? That would be phenomenal. I feel like if Nicki dropped like a pop rap song right now, it probably would do really well. At least the first few weeks, because I think a lot of people want to hear what Nicki Minaj has to say, and who she would be throwing shots at. So let me know how y'all feel about that. It also has been reported that Kendrick Lamar's odds to have a #1 album this year in 2026 has spiked up to 55%. Okay. So a lot of people are speculating that Kendrick Lamar could possibly do a album or drop an album this year and it would instantly go #1. Well, in regards to going #1, Kendrick always goes #1. He hasn't put out an album where he didn't go #1. So I don't really understand why people are betting on that. That's dumb. He always goes #1. So that's one. #2, I can definitely see the king of rap releasing a song. A full album, I don't know about that. Kendrick usually don't release albums back to back, and he don't put out 3 albums at once to get out of a 360 deal, because Kendrick Lamar never really been in a 360 deal. So he wouldn't know anything about releasing 3 albums at once to get out of a, $500 million contract with Lucian Grainge. He doesn't know anything about that. But, I would be here if Kendrick drops something. I definitely think people are missing Kendrick Lamar since Champagne Thickums dropped. Champagne Thickums Iceman was fire, but I think people are not fully satisfied, especially since the other 2 albums were trash. Okay, I don't care what nobody says. Habiti and Horror of Honor, whatever they were called, that was terrible. And the collaborations on the album were terrible. Like Sexy Red, Central C, I'm like 21 Below Average. The collaborations were terrible on all 3 albums. Only good collaboration was the Molly and Future collaboration. Molly Santana and Future. That was the only 2 good ones. Everything else was trash. So I'll be here for Kendrick dropping. I think he's definitely what the culture is feeling. Now, moving on from that, Rihanna has clapped back at Drizzy. If you guys remember, Champagne Thickums said in Burning Bridges that, ASAP the Colorist baby mama, which is Rihanna, did not post his single when he put out his album and single. I think it was earlier this year. So Riri has decided to pop out at the show. He currently is on tour. And so she popped out at the show to basically prove Drizzy wrong. Okay, she proven Drizzy Drake wrong, that she do in fact support ASAP the Colorist. And on top of that, she has posted his music before when it went number 1. She posted that it went number 1. I wouldn't say she posted music, but she posted that it went number 1. Now, let me know how y'all feel about it. I feel like Rihanna has always supported ASAP, even when they weren't necessarily a couple. Like, she's always supported him. But I also feel like she probably saw and heard what Drizzy has said recently in Burning Bridges and a few other songs, and probably was like, I gotta pop out. But it's not really a gag, because ASAP the Colorist music ain't that great, to be quite honest. Like, compared to Drake, ASAP is like, I don't know. I wouldn't say a flop, but pretty much close to it. Like, even at his show, there's a lot of seats that are not filled. You can tell that nobody's really going to see ASAP the Colorist. Now, 50,000 lashings to Pissy Face Carisha. She's celebrating her song charting on the bubbling under chart at number 1. She's celebrating like she went number 1 on Billboard. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I think people that support Pissy Face Carisha have low IQs. Probably aren't that intelligent. The Spend That record, she doesn't even sound good on it. Like, even with auto-tune, she's off tune, she's off beat, she's off everything except the D, and the coke. But other than that, I feel like Carisha really not that great of an artist. Like, if you support Pissy Face Carisha, you might as well support the Nicki clones. Don't say that you don't support the Nicki clones, but then you support Pissy Face Carisha, because at the end of the day, all of them are trash. Well, I wouldn't say everybody's trash, but most of them are trash, right? And I feel like when it comes to Pissy Face Carisha, the people that support Pissy Face Carisha is out of spite, because Carisha never was embraced by Nicki Minaj. That's all this is. Is basically, if you get a Nicki cosign, which JT did, you're not going to be embraced by the general public. They're going to pretend to support you for a little while. Mind you, Carisha been put out music, and people are saying, oh, she's light years ahead of JT, when she been put out music and it's been flopping. This song ain't going to chart for more than 1-2 weeks. After that, people are going to be on to the next. Y'all want Carisha to win because y'all don't like Nicki Minaj. That's all it is. Nicki embraced JT. Carisha never fully got embraced by JT, and that's why y'all like Carisha. But she's a shitty person, and on top of that, lacks talent. I'm not supporting nobody that was Diddy's concubine and sending letters to the judge to get Diddy out of jail. I'm not supporting nobody that was doing that, and she was definitely doing that. Absolutely positive not. Won't be getting one fucking stream. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Patreon. Link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a great day.